All right, let's go to the next game. Right, now this is also quite nice because Kryvoruchko is 100 points higher rated than this other guy, whose name I can't pronounce because he's missing a vowel somewhere. I don't know, the second letter should probably be a vowel. And there's a funny story about Kryvoruchko that he doesn't know because he has, he doesn't care. So, I was giving a lesson to someone in St. Louis about 11 years ago, I guess. And I pulled up a game from Kryvoruchko. And he was like, What kind of name is that? He was looking at the name and he's like, what's wrong with that guy? How can you have a name like that? Now, the reason that's funny is because Kryvoruchko is Ukrainian and the kid I was teaching is Ukrainian. It has a Ukrainian name. He's Ukrainian like you. Your name also looks strange to an American. What? So I couldn't believe a Ukrainian was saying another Ukrainian's name was strange. I was like, I don't know. It looks like a cool name. Yeah. Kangaroo, you're banned. Yeah. The boy who Kryvoruchko. Right, exactly. I'm going to try to see why I'm not having coffee. There has to be a reason. Karen said I'm coming before, but, after our wedding night, I'm not fooled anymore. Yeah, they said, sorry, we're not bringing the coffee. We're busy. All right. Now, this position's too complicated for the stream, except for the guy who lies and says, oh, yeah, I saw that. And even before you said anything, I saw it. All right. You Ukrainian, too. What kind of crazy name is Kangaroo? Slow time traveler gifted a sub. Hooray. All right. Now, in this position, Black was concerned about bishop a3. So he made a move where he was no longer concerned with it. And that move was probably the losing move, even though he's almost 2,700 and he has a cool name and so forth. What he should do is instead of put the bishop there, he should maneuver his knight. And the correct move is knight to d7. And later, knight c5. Later. Maybe next move, maybe in 2 moves. And the engine says it's equal. And he played a move which looks good, but it's no good. So, on move 14, a guy who's better than everybody is losing because of one bad move. Bishop c5, stopping bishop a3. And he's like, yeah, that's good. Now, the reason that loses is quite funny. It's very tactical and strategical at the same time. So in this position, the fork trick actually sacrifices a pawn, but gives white a crushing position. Probably Black saw that white could do this, but he literally didn't care. And then after the guy did it, he literally cared. Then he's like, oh. So he misunderstood the ramifications of what was going to happen. He probably saw them and thought, that's fine. But he was okay. So knight takes e5, which I think Black saw. And if you don't take the knight, you're just down a pawn. He took it. The fork trick. And here, the fork trick gets rid of the dark squared bishop. And then bishop a3 is really good. So in this position, if Black plays queen f4, which is the best move, he did not do that. And the idea is, I guess, if you take this, then I can take on d2. Then knight f3 attacks the queen. The queen moves. Thanks, Picktunes 2. You could play knight e5 or pawn takes bishop, and white has a monster advantage. Close to winning, if not winning. And Kryvoruchko, whose name I'm not pronouncing right according to Kangaroo, although Kangaroo also said I don't pronounce kangaroo correctly. So, he decided I'll just be a pawn up. 2 pawns for 1. Great. Now, you don't want to play knight takes d4, or rook takes d4. Knight takes d4. because of knight f3. So he played queen takes d4. So I'm thinking probably he saw knight takes e5 when he played bishop c5 at the start, and he thought, well, I'm a pawn up and white has compensation. You know, what's the problem? And the problem is bishop a3, which may look unplayable to some of you because this knight is hanging, is crushing, because if you take the knight, bishop takes is forking the rooks. And now we have a pin here, and the bishop is on this pawn, so you can't play rook fe8. And, you know, for somebody who's almost 2,700, their judgment should be, man, this isn't good for black. So very poor judgment from black when he played bishop c5. Like, this position he should get to and be like, this is no good. And not only did he get to it in his analysis, maybe, he played it. Because black probably could have played better than allowing this after d4, just playing queen f4 and being a pawn down, doubled pawn, and, you know, and having a normal position. So I don't know. I mean, very bad judgment. Very bad. Now, obviously, if you're rated 1,000 or 1,200 or 2,000 or 1,800 in some cases, it's understandable that you would think white's down a pawn, white has two bishops and good compensation. But if you're an engine or a super GM and somebody says, do you want to have black? You're like, nah, man, I ain't going to have black here. And black seemed to willingly go into this. So very poor judgment. All right. So he played rook d7. Somebody said knight d5. They didn't say which one. Knight d5 is also a move. And the thing is, you are defending, but it's in the long run, you're not defending. You can defend immediate threats, but when I play knight f3 attacking your queen, and rook e1, and rook d1, then it's falling apart like a house of cards checkmate. In the long run, you can't defend. You can defend a little bit, but your pieces are all tied up, they can't move, they're pinned, and they're attacked, and there's nothing you can do. You just lose. The engine says this move and this move are tied for the top move. I'll give you the engine variation because you guys like, play some good chess. Knight f3 attacking the queen. Queen f6 is by far the best move according to the engine. Bishop takes d5. And you can't take with the rook now because I take this and your rook's not defended. So you have to take with the knight. And then I take this. You can't take with the rook because your knight's hanging. So take with the king. And then I guess I pin your knight. Yeah, it says rook fe1. I would probably play rook d1. Yeah, the engine likes this and this and this. And it says, black's lost. And black is barely lost, but, like +2. Okay, so those moves are moves he should have played and tried to defend this bad position, but instead he tried, but he failed miserably. The lesson is never try. He played rook d7, which is a bad move. Knight f3. So the knight wants to take the queen, and the knight wants to go to e5. So queen f4 is forced. Otherwise, the knight goes to e5. Then rook a d1, attacking the rook that's defending the knight on e7. Man, the truth hurts. Now the engine says, it's getting close to +4. Now, if you want to defend this knight at all, at some point, you can never play rook e8 because of bishop f7 check. You can never play here because it's not defended sufficiently. And then that's it. So the knight just can't be defended. So the engine's given crazy moves like c5, knight g6, giving up the rook, rook d6. God damn. Okay, and that's actually, he did play rook d6. That's the third best engine move. Now white played very accurately. Instead of taking this, he played g3. Now the queen can't stay on the rook. Yeah, so then he took the rook. Yeah. So now white's up in exchange for nothing, and white has like a big attack. This is good, and that's good, and that's good, and rook e1's good. God damn. So the game ended shortly. Bishop e4, rook e1, and he resigned. If he takes the knight, then I would probably take the bishop, but the engine plays this move, which I don't think would be played. The idea is, this is checkmate. So, the reason I wouldn't play bishop f7 is after here, I would be worried about my bishop being captured, but you can't capture the bishop because of here. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not because of there. Because a queen takes b7? Well, this move wins and rook d7 wins. So nobody on earth's going to play bishop takes f7 except an engine. Just take with the queen. But anyway, he resigned after rook e1. And the engine says +7. So Kryvoruchko had like an equal position on move 14. If he played knight d7, he played bishop c5 and got run off the board like he was playing an engine. And that was it. And that guy's really high rated, but 2-game match, you can lose to anybody except me. COVID. Yeah, so the truth hurts.